I'm now joined by a very special guest, one of the most respected voices of Bangladesh in the last many years. He's now been living in Paris. He, of course, had his own troubles with the outgoing dispensation of Sheikh Hasina. Thank you very much, Mohammed Yunus, Nobel Laureate.
Thank you for
who won.
inviting me.
Yeah, thank you for joining us. First things first, how would you describe the pretty significant and some would say historic events that have played out in Bangladesh today within a matter of hours? A long-standing ruler, a long-standing prime minister has been ousted. She's now fled to India, and we're given to understand that she's possibly en route to London.
Yeah, it's a celebration now all over Bangladesh that she has left. Now they're free from her. This was something that they're hoping someday will happen. The students made it happen, but the students' idea was not to get her out. They were simply demonstrating for a simple reason, for quota arrangements that we had. They didn't like it. They wanted to change it. They were just amending the quota. That little demonstration became uglier and uglier because government wanted to shoot at them. They did shoot them, they killed them, continued with them. And then they brought paramilitary. Still, students become larger and larger in number. And then they brought the army. It becomes still larger, and killing continued to grow. Yesterday, there were 97 young people were killed yesterday alone. So you can see that what simple thing made a very complicated thing. And now she had to leave the country because of the thing that she have done over years. And this is the failure of democracy. She didn't want democracy to be in Bangladesh. She had fake elections, never had a real election. And these young people who were 1/3 of the country, 2/3 of the whole population of the country, never voted in their life. They never had a chance to go and vote. They didn't know how its democratic system works. So this is something accumulated. All the pent-up anger burst into volcanic eruption. That's what just happened today.
So the immediate trigger, of course,
like a celebration of liberation, like we had in the 16th of December in 1971. The similar celebration is going on all over the country. This is a new liberation that they feel they have.
So the immediate trigger, of course, was, like you said, was about this quota system, which, of course, the Supreme Court of Bangladesh, whittled it down. They reduced it down to just about 5%, I believe. You think the manner in which the Hasina government responded to these students, the shooting, the firing, the almost repression of these protests, that is what led to her ouster from power, not so much the quota itself, because after the Supreme Court's decision, I believe the protests had subsided for a bit.
It started again because of the utterances made, and the killing continued. Students came back again with their parents joined them, neighbors joined them. It became an ocean of people gradually all over the country. It's not just located in. This is not a Dhaka demonstration. This is a countrywide demonstration. Every single person is participating in that because they want to get rid of Hasina.
What do you think happens next? The army has said that they are going to put in place an interim government. Do you see elections in the near future? What may those throw up? Will the main opposition party, the BNP, come back to power? How do you see this playing out politically?
One of the things I've been emphasizing right from the beginning, the cure for all this political trouble is to have a fair election, because people have to express themselves in a political way, what they want that they never had in their young people's life. So this will be an occasion, have an election, have a caretaker government, and caretaker government will be responsible for election. And caretaker government was introduced with the insistence of Awami League, and Awami League made it part of the constitution. As soon as Hasina came to power, she scrapped it completely. So that thing gone. I said that was the cure for Bangladesh, have a caretaker government so that they can have a fair and transparent election. So the election is in the control of Hasina. So Hasina made it her own game to re-elect herself without any vote. So this is the core problem of Bangladesh. And the rest of it is just an outcome of what happened, corruptions and everything else, and killing people, disappearing people, and all the thing that you hear in the newspapers or read in the newspaper.
Would you want to go back to your country in some form, and would you want to participate if you're asked to in the political process? I know you've contested elections in the past as well, but would you be open to that idea?
I didn't contest any election in the past, so I'm not a politician. So I don't run in the election. I do my own work, and I stay away from politics. In 2007, when another army takeover took place at that time, they invited me to become the head of the government.
Yeah.
I apologized to them. This is not my job. You find somebody else. I'm not the kind of person to get involved with the politics. So I always stayed away from politics. This is how I'm trying to keep myself away from it.
So you wouldn't want to head some kind of an interim arrangement if you were asked to by the current.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm telling everybody that no, I cannot. Circumstances, I don't know because I'm away from Bangladesh right now. So when I go back, I have to see what's happening.
Would you like to go back?
Of course, I came for Olympic. I'm here in the Olympic and I'm one of the designer of this Olympic, what we call social business Olympic. So things that we have done to benefit the people rather than just the corporates and so on. So that I became integrated part of this whole designing of the Olympic. So they invited me to be there to see how it's working, others who are trying to copy that, how to improve that, like Milano Cortina Winter Olympic is coming up 2026. They are in a body here. They have requested us to help them to design their social business Winter Olympics. So that's what brought me here. I'm here right now. And they even have a street named after me in Paris because of the thing that I have done for France and Paris and so on. So this is what kept me here. So once I'll go back to Bangladesh. I came for this reason and I'll go back.
You have expressed some degree of disappointment, let's say, about India not playing a proactive enough role, especially when a lot of people were complaining about how Hasina was getting too autocratic in her ways.
I was very disappointed.
Do you feel vindicated now?
No, India didn't do anything for her to get her out. It's a question of they still supported her. Now she's out, finally, and that made a big damage to our relationship with Bangladesh, because Bangladesh didn't see it very kindly that India has been totally supportive of her, who is a totalitarian government, never having an election in the entire period. And India is the first one to come and greet and give all the congratulations for success in the election, which was a fake election. They know it very well. There's part of it. So that soured the relationship between the people of Bangladesh and India. I said, India should be our best friend. That's what we are supposed to be, because we work together so many ways and so many things to learn from each other. So that's what our real relationship is. And instead of with wrong policy of India that soured the whole relationship, you name India anywhere in Bangladesh, they will respond very negatively. So this is what this should be changed completely. Your foreign policy has to change. So we're equal. We don't support one particular person or particular party, and try to keep, even as a autocrat, is a totalitarian person, and then have the outcome of something like that. We have to review the whole thing.
There are concerns here in India with the establishment that now with Sheikh Hasina gone, there could be the return to either the BNP or possibly even some Islamist parties. How would you address those concerns?
It's a democracy. In democracy, anybody come in. Trump is getting elected. Everybody hates it. I hate the way he does. Doesn't mean that he cannot run the election. So this is democracy. People, whether it's Jamaat or BNP or anybody, you have to accept democracy. There's no escape from that. You have to get rid of all those ideas that it's Jamaat. Either you do it in India like that. This is Jamaat. You cannot do that. Or in Bangladesh or anywhere else. Democracy is democracy. Everybody has a right to vote, right to express their opinion, as long as they obey the rules of the law of the land. That's all. If they violate, they can punish them. But until then, they're as good as anybody else. They are citizens of the country. They are voters. They are the owners of the country. So they have to have freedom for them. Any other kind of marking them in some way would be very anti-democratic.
We know that Sheikh Hasina is in India right now. She's in an undisclosed location. Reportedly, some negotiations are going on for her to fly to London. She wants to seek some kind of political refuge in London. How may India's role so far in extricating her from Bangladesh, and now she's in a safe house here in India, and possibly she's en route to London. How may this be viewed by ordinary people in Bangladesh?
It's a continuation of the same view that always people felt India is against us, against Bangladeshi people. So they continued that policy, taking care of Hasina, which is hated by Bangladeshi people.
I do want to know your thoughts. I mean, personally, too, I think she slapped about 100+ cases against you, corruption charges, labor law violations, so on and so forth. And you said many of this is simply politically motivated. How does today sort of stand in contrast to all that you've had to go through because of your political opposition to Sheikh Hasina?
I guess she made me more popular because everybody is supporting me. The more she hits me, the people come towards me. So in the process, she hurt herself. I don't know what happened now with the new government coming in, how they will treat it. That's up to them. But definitely these are fake cases with no basis of on the raw law. Clooney Foundation already said repeatedly how empty these cases are, how useless these cases are. Amnesty International said the same thing, and UN rapporteur said this is weaponization of weaponization of legal system.
Dr. Yunus, how do you speak to concerns that, now with Sheikh Hasina gone, the Chinese and maybe even Pakistan will play a greater role, particularly in the strategic affairs and the outward sort of outlook of Bangladesh?
It's possible they will come back because India didn't want them to do, and Hasina would not like to do. It will be the best interest of Bangladesh. Whoever comes with a friendly way, they will treat them as equals.
Do you see it possible that there could be another leadership emerge from within the Awami League itself?
Possible. Possible. Why not? It's a democracy. It's a free democracy. That's the beauty of democracy. They can always come back. They would always redesign their policies, images, and say, apologize to people. We did wrong things, please. This is our thing. They are wrong leaders. We are not with them anymore. Those kind of things. There's a usual political turnaround kind of thing, so that people gradually keep accepting it.
But these pictures that I'm sure you've also seen today of people standing on top of Mujibur Rahman's statue and, trying to vandalize it, doesn't that concern you?
No, this is the result of what Hasina has done, anger towards everything that she has done, to herself, to her family, everything. So that anger is being expressed. There's nothing wrong with that. They felt so much pent-up emotions behind it. They're expressing their emotions.
And last few questions as I wind down this interview. As far as the BNP is concerned, and I know you're not a political person, but there is also a view that it's extremely weak politically. Their leader, Ms. Zia, has been keeping very unwell. I think her elder son, who's her political heir, has been in exile in London. Do you see the BNP at all in a political position to even if there were to be an election, to be able to win that election?
No idea. I have no idea because I don't know BNP very much. I don't know other parties also because I don't interact with them. So it's a question of how they present themselves to the new Bangladesh, the Bangladesh now emerging, whether they'll be attractive in their views, in their actions, and so on. By the time election is held, what is the message they bring out? Just like any other elections, any other democratic process. So they have to present themselves and explain what they have done, what they didn't do in the past, and explain what is in their future plan.
How do you speak to concerns that the army might continue to be in power even beyond an interim arrangement?
It's possible, and army rule is always bad, always destroys whatever you got. It's never welcome to anybody. So we will be very much vocal if the army continues.
And that you would think that if that were to happen, that would not be acceptable to a large majority of Bangladeshi people.
Absolutely not. People don't like military rule.
Okay. And I
We have
come
long
back.
experience.
All right. I come back to the point that I asked you a little while earlier, just to reinforce it. You would, want to go back, and if given the opportunity, and you're not close to the idea, if given the opportunity to take part in some form in this interim government arrangement, you wouldn't be closed to that idea. You're willing to think about it with an open mind, if you're asked.
Yes, this is something people keep asking me because I keep repeating my previous answer. They said country is in crisis. You don't want to help the country in crisis, so they will put me in shame for not doing the right thing to do help the people to overcome. So I have to listen to them. What is their argument? Can I do it in any other role? Can I function in any other role, helpful to people, and so on? So I have to wait.
All right, Mohammed Yunus, thank you very much for speaking with us here
Thank
on
you.
CNN News 18.
Thank
And thank you for your time, your thoughts, your perspective into what has been pretty significant events that have happened in back home in your country, with the exit of a long-time prime minister, in fact, the longest-serving woman prime minister of any government, longer serving than even Indira Gandhi and Margaret Thatcher, and of course the longest serving prime minister of Bangladesh. Of course, like I've been saying and we've been discussing for a number of hours now since these dramatic pictures came from earlier this afternoon, this is going to have cataclysmic impacts both domestically in Bangladesh and also from a foreign policy realm, whether it is revival of China and Pakistan's interests in Bangladesh, whether it is Bangladesh moving away from the American axis more towards a China, Pakistan, Russia axis, and of course what this may mean for India and its own interests in the South Asian region. Remember, there are concerns. Of course, there is always the inimical relationship with Pakistan. Recently, we've had a change of government in Nepal. Sri Lanka is going to elections in the next few months. One never knows how it will play out there. I think one of the guests earlier pointed out about how the Maldives has not been particularly welcoming, although they've had to change in the last month or so.